Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a splendid morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me this morning is the leader of the National Unity Alliance, Mr. Azath Salley. Very good morning to you, Azath.
Good morning, Faraz.
Nice to see you again after the absence of several weeks. Where have you been?
I've been out to Malaysia.
I see.
Very
good.
Short
We'll discuss why you went there in a minute. However, today we're going to start off with a question, and the question will come up on your screens about now. And do send us your SMS answer to 0772 300 305. The question will be on your screen right now. And let me just tell you what that question is. What is the largest regular procurement done by the government every year? What is the largest procurement undertaken by the government of Sri Lanka each and every year? That is the question. Send us your SMS answers if you know the answer. We will then discuss that later on in this program. Now then, Azad, this program will be ineffective if we don't address the burning issue.
Of course.
I left home early morning today and I see queues at every petrol
Last 3 days this is going on.
Yes, about 3-4 days now, isn't it? Now, what's going on?
I think for us, we have been discussing this issue right throughout.
Yeah.
Every day there is something happening after 2015.
Yeah.
And then finally the president has to come out. President has to appoint a subcommittee or a presidential committee to look into these affairs. You can't be running a government like this.
Yeah.
And more importantly now, Prime Minister assures Parliament that 2 ships loads of fuel coming from India.
Yeah.
And that should reach us by tomorrow. And tomorrow being the budget day.
Yeah.
And people were expecting a lot from the budget. Yeah. But now itself you see the queues.
Do you think it's a smoke screen for a poor budget?
No, I don't think. I hope Mangala will perform. Let's wait and see. I don't want to come into conclusion.
Yeah.
But what I say is, why allow this type of monopoly by somebody to sabotage or do anything? This is why we said in 2015, when the government initially took up office, they did not change whoever was necessary to be changed.
Yeah.
Right? They were looking at it as a transparent government, and we will not victimize anybody. That was the attitude. So that continued hindering the process of the government. If you take from the police to the army to the government department, the secretaries, everything, there is problem. But this government did not take any action.
Yes, but you know, the president has a mandate.
Yeah.
And do you sometimes feel that His Excellency the President is not acting swiftly?
No, it's not a question. It's not a question of acting swiftly. For us, what he makes the government understand is that he, being the president of this country, who was elected by the people, with 6.3 million people voting for him. But what he thought is, I have come with the assistance and help of the United National Party. Yeah. So we have divided the subjects, we have divided the ministries, and we are working. So he doesn't want to spoil that good relationship, that he gives them the first opportunity to do it.
When Mahinda Rajapaksa did something similar. He came into power with the help of the JVP. He even told the United States ambassador that, you know, leave it to me, I know what to do after I get elected. And then he dumped them.
So this
president is not into that kind of thing.
He is not into that.
He's a bit more gentlemanly.
A very sober character. Yes. Sober character, did not want any dictatorship taken over. Right. He doesn't want to be another Mahinda Rajapaksa, which he could be. He could be. He could be nasty to all the people, but it's not that. What he feels is that first time in Sri Lanka's history that you have a coalition government with your pro-opposition group. So you have the SLFP and the UNP working together. And this is a very important thing that we all have to understand. So there are people who are doing this sabotage over and over again, and this government is still to identify them.
Yeah.
This is the most important problem.
It's state identity.
They know
Yeah.
who these people are, but they don't want to take action. And President himself does not want to take any action because that is the subject ministry he has handed over to the UNP.
Right.
So he gives them, because he is a president who has handed over all his powers to the parliament.
Yeah.
He, being the president who has the big stick in his hand, he can do it. But he doesn't want to do it. He gives them the opportunity. Once it fails, then he has no option but to go. Like you say, the bond commission.
Well, I mean, yes, I mean, but before that bond commission, do you remember the president refused flatly to give a new contract to Arjuna Mahendran, and he wanted a new governor, and he was waiting. But in frustration, do you remember he went to the central bank, and who came running after him? Do you remember that?
Yes.
It was very funny, really.
Before all that,
Yeah.
when the appointment itself came,
Yeah.
it was only the president who said, don't do this.
Yeah.
Said, don't do this because this is one day going to be a problem, and that became a problem.
Yeah.
So this is about, that's why I said, when the UNP forces him,
Yeah.
saying that no, we want this done,
Yeah.
so he has no option but to give in at that time. But later we have seen all this. And one thing you must remember, is all these activities and the problems that are coming up have been always coming up with the pro-UNP ministers.
I see.
All the problems.
Yeah.
Right? If you check after 15 January,
What are the problems?
8th January 2015,
Yeah.
if you analyze all the problems, it has been all by the UNP ministers, and nothing up to today done by the SLB ministers. So President has a very good control over his people. That very clearly shows.
So that means that Mr. Wickramasinghe is not being effective.
Wickramasinghe has taught it this way, that my fellows were suffering for the last 20 odd years without anything.
But that's one hell of a thing.
This is what is happening.
Yeah, but
whether
that's
you
not
like
all.
it or not, for us, this is what is happening. So people must know whether the UNP is going on the right track or the SLB is going on. Now we can see the president and the SLB
But
going on the right track.
you know a lot of UNP voters, right? And
worked.
Yes, and so do you think that these UNP voters are thinking that it's okay to rob the country because in favor of the party?
They're totally frustrated. People who voted are speaking to us because we during the last general election also campaigned for the UNP and not for the SLP.
Now those questions, that question coming up on your screen, send us your response. We've already started getting a number of responses. I'm not telling you the answer just yet, but it's very good. Keep sending your questions, and we'll come back to that in shortly. You've got another 5 more minutes. Send us your answer to that question. What is the largest procurement regularly undertaken by the government of Sri Lanka? Now, the people, it's a monumental waste of time. There was one chap, and I'm sure many others did it. He was working on his computer.
Laptop. I saw that
You saw
in
that?
Malaysia. I saw that news.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the truth. People cannot waste any more time in this country. Everybody says every minute is very precious.
Why did you go to Qatar with the president? This is another question.
Qatar, we went on a very official trip. And it was a very, very important and a very good trip.
What was your role? Why did you go?
I accompanied him as
did you carry his bag?
Party who had been working with him.
Did you carry his bag?
You don't need to carry bags, no.
Yeah.
We don't usually carry bags.
No, that's true.
And we went.
But why did you go?
I've been to
Did he ask you
Bangladesh also.
to come?
It's on invitation only.
All right.
And it was a very fruitful.
So I couldn't just write to him and say, "Can I come with you?"
Yeah, why not? Why your media guys come all the time?
Right. Okay.
Why not? Only this Qatar trip, it was only.
So why did you go?
Only.
Why did he want to?
Important people, not you guys.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yes. Important people like you.
Like me. Yes.
Right.
It was a very fruitful thing, and especially LNG, gas, and Sri Lankan Airlines.
Right.
This was the topic that was discussed, and very fruitful. You won't believe the Emir of Qatar was so close to the president, and he only said one thing: anything you have, any problem, please give me a call.
But you could have asked him to send you a
immediately,
of fuel.
1 minute, immediately, the next morning, even before we could come to the hotel, the Emir called back and told the President, my special team will arrive in Sri Lanka on Sunday. So we were coming back on Friday, and immediately on Sunday we saw the team. 22 people from Qatar came, and very fruitful discussion. I think a lot of things are going to happen. See, what I'm always saying, one minute, what I always said to the President was also, everything, if you can sign it up with government to government, without third parties getting involved, that will be. You saw the gas situation. You saw the fuel situation now. Like that, these things are happening in this country. So it's always better whenever the President makes a visit to make things easy by going government to government. So government to government, LNG was discussed, gas was discussed, Sri Lankan Airlines was discussed. Now you saw Qatar taking over Cathay Pacific.
Indeed.
They have taken over. So likewise, if Sri Lankan could
but who would want to take over an airline that's top heavy, debt ridden?
Yeah, okay. Let me come to that point.
And
everybody knows
filled with political appointees.
How the Sri Lankan Airlines have fared after 2015 is a shame on this government. We must be very frank. Mind the ruined it completely.
Yes, but then they inherited
to make it worst. The new board sat and did it. It's a divided board. I have always mentioned to you, it was a divided board, a chairman with a set of people, Charitharath was a brother with another set of people. So the entire board was divided, all decision divided. Payments, 3 million. One person who is getting the highest payment was 3 million rupees there. And
in the meantime, they also invested money they didn't have into the duty-free on-board supply. Because they had outsourced that before.
Exactly.
And now they've invested money again.
They never had the idea. I don't know. They call themselves so-called successful business people. The chairman and them. But I don't understand.
Well, I don't know about
why did they go and invest on this? And why didn't they make it better than what it was than to make it worse than what it was? So this is the scenario. The country is suffering due to these type of appointments.
Was there only Muslims accompanying the president too?
No. Rajita was there. Ajit P. Pereira was there.
Yes, I'm glad because that's viewer number 44 is asking me that.
The problem is most of the things, whatever messages we get or media or this Facebook we see, mostly it is all wrong information. So the purpose of that visit is it's a Muslim country, number one. That's
so therefore
he took a Muslim delegation because all except for me, the rest were cabinet ministers.
Right.
So because they had to sign their memorandum of understanding.
Yes.
So whatever.
I saw Mr. Mujibur Rahman there as well.
Yeah, as an MP from the UNP. Because the other two were not UNPs, no.
The other young man was there as well, wasn't he? Faisal Mustafa.
Yeah, he's the SLP minister. Right. See how it went. SLMC, Minister is Rauf Hakim. ACMC leader, Rishad. Then you have Mujibur Rahman from the UNP. Faisal Mustafa representing the SLP. So as political parties, everybody knows. So Noah was represented by Azath Salley. That's all. So we don't need to go and waste time on that.
But there's a viewer who's asking me, why so many Muslim ministers?
Yeah, that's very good.
Because it's a Muslim country?
Because it's a Muslim country, and the Qatari government also will feel very comfortable, and they will think, yes, this
was it a way of trying to mislead the Qataris?
No, not at all, because a president has always been a very friendly person towards the minority Muslim and Tamil community. So
but so did President Rajapaksa. But then we had
President Rajapaksa
we had this trouble in Alutgama and Beruwala and all that.
Even though he did the problem, and both brothers went out of the country. After burning all the shops only, they came back to Colombo. So that was the scenario. Up to today, there is no commission for that. We are all asking for is a commission. Even today, even the so-called person whom we are referring as Jnanasara, priest, who was instrumental in saying Habasaranai to all those things, he too is asking for a commission for Alutgama. He too is asking. So let us all ask for a commission. Let this government, which is going to be transparent, let it come and give a commission so that let them find out who these people who were involved in this attack. That is very important.
Now then, we are about to tell you the answer to that question, but you've still got about a minute, and so get on that SMS quickly and send us your answer. What is the largest procurement regularly undertaken by the government of Sri Lanka? And in the meantime, I think it's sorry, excuse me. I think it's time now to go for a short commercial break, and on the other side of the break, we'll give you that answer.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And welcome back to Newsline. Now then, the answer to that question. I have several messages here that tells me that the answer is fuel, petroleum, that kind of thing. Well, I must tell you that that is not the answer. That answer is worth approximately, in current prices, current market conditions, the importation of fuel, which is also regularly done, is 375 billion. Now then, the answer, the correct answer would have been the procurement of money by the central bank for the government. On average, any government borrows approximately 2,000 billion rupees each and every year. That's 2 trillion. 2,000 billion with a B. That's the answer. That is the item that is regularly procured by this government using the central bank. And that is the answer. Now then, Azath, I wonder if you know that bonds, it is since 1997 that they had a commercial element to it, and the same system has been in place since 1997 until January 2015. Actually, it was technically in place until February 2015. There was a system in place, and it was a system that clearly worked because it had been used from 1997 all the way until 2015. But Azath, somebody changed that system. Now then, before I tell you who changed the system, let me also...
I know it.
Yes, but one moment. But before we say that, at the end of December 2015, in 2014, and in the last week of President Rajapaksa's tenure, the debt, in terms of all the bills and bonds, stood at approximately 4,000 billion. That's 4 trillion. Now, if the percentage interest rate, if it rose by 1%, it would cost us, you're pretty good at maths,
another 40 billion. 40
billion for every 1%. Okay. Now then, conversely, if the rate went down by 1%, then it would be another 40 billion less. More money to do that. By the way, do you know that the expressway cost less than 40 billion? Okay?
Yeah.
Now that's just to put it in context. So if it went up, you'd have 40 billion by 1%. If it was only 0.01%, right, just 1 basis point, it would be 400 million. Yeah. Not a little sum to be sniffed at either. Now, Azath, this system was changed, and a person in the financial industry, thanks to Vasanta Samarasinghe, the public were able to listen to something that the Presidential Commission of Inquiry already listened. Let's listen to the clip, the reaction of a professional to the rising interest rate.
නෑනමිස් ලංකාව ලොකු දාන්නකෝ කියලා කිව්වා. හරියටද මේ පොඩි වනේ 12 half කරන 3 billion. 3 billion එකේ මේ 12 half වලට වැදුනා. ඊට යටින් තිබුණ ඔක්කොම අරගෙන සර්. ඔව් ඒ මම සෙන්ට්‍රල් බැංක් කතා කරලා කිව්වා මොකද්ද මේ කරපු වැඩේ ඉතින් වහපොතලයක් කියවන්න මේ. දැන් මම දැන් ආනන්දලට වෙනදම කිව්වා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට උදව් කරන්න ස්ටේට් බැංක් දෙකෙන් බැඳලා ස්ටේට් බැංක් වලට ගියා. ඔව් ඉතින් මේ අරගොල්ලෝ කියනවා මේ මෙහෙම ගවර්නර් එකගොල්ලෝ තියෙන ඔක්කොම බිට්ස් ගන්න කියලා. ඕක 12 මාර නෙමෙයි ඊට උඩ තියෙනත් ඔක්කොම ගන්න කියලා කිව්වා. ඊට පස්සේ කන්වින්ස් කරන්නම් බැරි වුණාලු. ඊට පස්සේ අපේ රේට් වලට අපි ගැව්වාම ඉවරයි. නේද දැන් මම ඒක තමයි කතා කරේ. දැන් අපි ටී බිල් ලබන සැරේ ගන්නකොට මේ 10% වලට විතර කාම ටී බිල්. ඔව් ගැව්වාම ඉවරයි. ගන්නවා අපි උඩින්. ඔව් ඔක්කොම කතා කරලා 10 වලට ගැව්වන ඉවරද.
That's two primary dealers talking there, okay, an official of the central bank. Now then, Azath Salley, did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
He said the governor had actually asked not only at 12.5% to take everything. Didn't matter. He didn't care about the rate. And this man, who's a professional financial man, says you might as well also send me a cup of poison. Because he understood what this meant, that when the interest rate moves up by 1%, it was 40 billion. It didn't move up by 1, it moved up by almost 3%. Right? That was 120 billion extra. Now then, this system, Azath Salley, was changed on the instruction of I think it was changed by the instruction of one person. Shall we listen to it?
I insisted on a public auction because private placements have led to corruption and lack of transparency. Previously, parcels of government bonds were handed out to selected individuals on a favoured basis through a system of private placement. It took place outside the normal auctions of government bonds.
And now that is the answer. We have the person who changed the system admitting to what he did. Now then, it's amazing.
Before that,
yeah.
Now with that commitment,
yeah,
it has been very clearly said that this led to corruption in the previous regime.
What has he done about that?
My question is also that.
That's right.
My question is always that why haven't we taken action against the previous regime?
He says that.
All the corruption that they have done.
That's right.
And we are also following the same.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
My point.
And that clip is why the Prime Minister of this country must submit himself to cross-examination by the Attorney General's Department. That is very clear. It's not something that this network is asking for, or any other network, or Mr. Salley, or anyone else. It is what he said.
For us, again and again, I think I have told this to you more than 3 or 4 times. The 4th time, let me say it again. This bond commission, I only pray and hope that will not deviate. Or are they getting it deviated? Because, right, the period was extending, and finally it has gone to the President for the approval for preparing the report only.
Yes.
6 weeks have been given only for
that. Now they say that there's going to be only two more.
No. So the extension is very clearly asked for is for preparation of the report.
Yes.
If they by chance go against the mandate of bringing the Prime Minister and 20 other people whom they want to bring in, will that be a legal issue is my concern.
Right.
Are they trying to mislead, or are they trying to make up a situation whereby everything will be finished?
With all due respect, we got many SMSs after the after we gave the answer. Now then, the fact is, you may say what you want, but if you do your research, you will find that when the government procures, on average, 2,000 billion rupees of money for their use, that's 2 trillion. It's nowhere close to the money spent on fuel, which is the second largest, and currently it's with world prices as it is and exchange rates, it's 375 billion. So that is the answer, and the answer more than anything else is what did the Prime Minister do about the previous? He claims that there were previous instances of corruption. He says that is what the primary dealers say, and Arjuna Mahendran says under oath and at the Commission of Inquiry, Arjuna Mahendran says, I don't know who these primary dealers are, and you better ask the Prime Minister that. Well, that's what they want to do. But the other point is, of course, that the Prime Minister has no business. He can make any suggestion, but the Monetary Law Act dictates that it is the Monetary Board of Sri Lanka who must make that decision. And the fact of the matter is that it appears that the Prime Minister didn't know anything really about bonds, and he clearly, as Dev Gunasekara told us on this program some weeks ago, he clearly had that advice from none other than Mr. Mahendran, perhaps. and therefore the Prime Minister will have to, must make an appearance before the Bond Commission and subject himself to cross-examination.
Also, this Bond Commission cannot go into that area because the mandate is not that.
Exactly.
If not, if they would have started investigating,
very well pointed out, because the Prime Minister might point out that he's got a commission of inquiry, but the commission of inquiry is only to look into this
transaction.
Exactly. So
there you are. No status for that commission to summon the previous regime or the previous governor of the central bank.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
Very simple.
What would you think would have happened in Westminster?
I think the Prime Minister should have written to the President, saying that this
offering
is
to resign.
This is the results of the previous regime. This is how all these commissions have gone. This is how the primary dealers were playing up money. And if we had given a detail and asked for another inquiry.
But now let me tell you this: the 1997 procedure that was put in place and lasted by and large till 2015 was changed by the admission of Mr. Wickramasinghe by himself. He instructed. All right. Now then, guess what? What is the system today? What is Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy doing today? He has gone back to the old system. Because, as the Auditor General says, this system that was practiced since 97 is the least cost method to procure funds in a market such as in Sri Lanka. And for the former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake to have once upon a time told us that the losses had not been quantified, that's absolute rubbish, because the Auditor General has very correctly calculated the losses on the day, and on the day of issue it was 1.6 billion, and there is a calculation to prove that the real cost of this bond, using the rates that were raised by Mahendran until the end of December 2016, when you do that calculation, you will have a loss of 145 billion. After 2016, the Monetary Board raised the interest rates anyway. So that is the sad situation that we are in, that they have robbed it. What chances? You are a people's man.
I think the most important thing that we have to discuss is the item.
Item.
This item is not finishing.
Why is that?
I don't know.
What's the deal there?
See, they were all demanding that item has to be taken over. Now that has been done. Now no more Neville Fernando Hospital. No more Neville Fernando item.
Now
this item became a very big item, and finally now it has gone to Slit.
Right.
They have taken it over, given to Slit. Now it's a government thing. Now why do they have to go and say fast on to death? Now GMO is accepted.
But why? What's the real deal here?
This is politics.
It's politics.
It is just simple politics, and a time like this, elections are coming.
Do you? We was asking that if if the Prime Minister is hedging on coming to the Commission of Inquiry, does that mean that MS has a deal with RW?
No. What Prime Minister said. My point is not that, Faraz. Prime Minister, not only now, Prime Minister has from the beginning said, I am prepared to come before the Commission.
But another view is pointing out that the Prime Minister may say he can't come because he has to go for the budget.
No, he never said that, no. He is the Commission, up to today, never wanted the Prime Minister. Let me be very fair. It is the Prime Minister who told the Commission that he is prepared to come there. Then
what a nice
the last day of that sitting, the Commission writes to him, we are finishing, but we want your one by an affidavit. Correct? No? This is what they said. But now, the extension period has been given for the final report. By asking the Prime Minister to come or 20 others to come for cross-examination, will this lead to the Commission going beyond their scope of work? Is my problem. I am very worried about that.
But come on, you know...
Somebody can go to Supreme Court on a FR and say, look, the mandate of this commission is only this. And the final extension they have asked from the President is only to write the report. While getting the approval from the President to write the report, they are summoning people and for cross-examination. This can be a legal point for us.
Right, well, it's good that you pointed it out, and I'm sure the lawyers will be scurrying along to their books to have a look. But, you know, as we come towards the end of this program, You're a people's man. You've been trying to get the people to elect you to Parliament and so on. And so you
not to Parliament. My opportunity to Parliament was deprived by the UNP leader.
By whom?
UNP leader and Malik.
Oh, okay. Is that why you don't like him?
No. See, we worked for him.
Right,
even after that.
But let's ask you this. You've got your ear to the ground, right? Are you... another question from a viewer, but very quickly, okay? Are you in tow with Rishad?
For what?
No. So the answer is no.
No.
Right. Now, here's the question.
I am not inclined to anybody or any political party. I have my own political party and my own sense of working.
Okay. Right. Very quickly.
We are very straight. Let it be anybody, whoever makes the mistake. Let it be the president or the prime minister or Mahinda Rajapaksa, anybody. Yeah. For me, all are the same.
The people ask this question.
I will come out and speak
people ask
for the wrong that they have done.
You've got your ear to the ground.
Yes.
Do you think the people will see a result on this bond issue?
I say no.
No.
Very clear no.
So the bond
from the time I've been watching this case, you mark my words, zero is my feeling. My gut feeling is they are going beyond their scope of work.
Right, well then end the day with posing another question to you. Send us an SMS on the same number, 0772 300 305. Tell us what you think. Will there be a people-friendly result or outcome to the bond matter? Or will there be no? Yes or no? That's all you've got to say. Yes, there will be an acceptable result, or no, there will not be an acceptable result. There's no maybes, okay? So yes or no. On that note, Azath Salley, thank you very much. Let's go and do Talk of the Town, and let's talk to all those people driving to work, hopefully, today. And that's the way it was on Wednesday, the 8th of November, 2017. Take care. And
before you conclude, my only request to the parents of these university children who are sitting fast on to death, please give up. Don't do politics with children's life.
Absolutely.
Children's life is very, very important. These are the future of our country. Please do not ruin them. Thank you.
I have to ask this question, and at that point I'm going to say bye. Is Rishad funding your party?
I don't take funds from anybody. For us, let me be very frank and very straight.
The answer is no.
If there is
ladies and gentlemen, that's the way it was.
My politics.
That's the way it was on Wednesday, the 8th of November, 2017, from Newsline. Take care and God bless.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.